Welcome to this explainer. Imagine I'm stepping up to a whiteboard right now, marker in hand, ready to sketch out something that genuinely, well, it defies all logic. I want you to picture the absolute absurdity of the current landscape of world football. For decades, the script has been exactly the same, right? We expect the biggest, most frighteningly dominant superstar on the planet to be a seasoned veteran, someone deep in his prime with years of battle scars. But that script, it's been entirely torn to shreds. We are officially in an era where the undisputed main character is a teenager, a kid who is breaking records and doing things we simply didn't think were physically or mentally possible at his age. It's an accelerated hero's journey unlike anything the modern game has ever seen.
Okay, let's dive into this. 17. I really want you to let that number sink in for just a second. Think back to when you were 17. Most of us were just, worrying about passing our high school exams, trying to figure out who to sit with at lunch, or maybe stressing over a driving test. At that exact same age, this player is entirely shattering the concept of what a football prospect is supposed to be. He's not the next superstar waiting in the wings. He already is the superstar right now. And the bombshell statistics and historical records he's accumulating on a weekly basis are just completely mind-boggling.
Chapter 1. The Phenomenon of Lamine.
Watching his rapid evolution has been nothing short of incredible. He went from being a skinny teenager with a perm to becoming the absolute main man for the Spanish national team in the blink of an eye. He's broken virtually every youngest ever record you can possibly think of. Youngest to play in La Liga? Check. Youngest to score, assist, and play for Barca? Check, check, and check. He already has well over 100 professional games under his belt, which is just staggering. Even the absolute legends of the game are terrified by him. Look at Micah Richards, who said with total disbelief, "It's not normal to be like that at 17. I don't even know what I'm witnessing." And he's totally right. It's not just his raw talent on the ball, it's his acute awareness, how incredibly calm he is under the suffocating pressure of elite football, and the genius way he reads the game.
Moving into Chapter 2, Dominance in Euro 2024. Usually big international tournaments are won by gritty veterans who know all the dark arts and tricks in the book. The summer of 2024 in Germany was absolutely not supposed to be about a 16-year-old kid. Throwing a child into matches against tough, incredibly physical teams like Italy and Croatia seemed like a massive, risky gamble. But instead, Yamal completely took over the show. Let me put on my coach's hat for a second and just check off these stats. 4 assists, tying the all-time record for the Euros. 14 chances created. How does a 16-year-old create 14 chances against the absolute best defenses in Europe? It's a teenage record. Plus 1 unbelievable goal, making him the youngest scorer in history. There's a very genuine argument that he could have easily been named the best player of the entire tournament.
The exact moment the entire world truly fell in love with him happened in the semi-final against France. Now, the French were the heavy favorites. They boasted this historically impenetrable defense and hadn't let in a single goal from open play all tournament. They scored early, and for about 20 minutes, Spain looked legitimately scared. But then, the 21st minute, Adrien Rabiot, who had actually trash-talked Yamal before the game, gave him just a fraction too much space. Remember, Spain is losing in a massive semifinal against a brick wall of a defense. Yamal calmly shifts the ball to his left foot and confidently curls a perfect, unstoppable shot from 25 yards out right into the top corner. To have the sheer confidence to even try a shot like that in that scenario, just wild.
And then came the gritty final against England. The English defense was incredibly compact and really didn't leave much room to breathe, but this is exactly where Yamal's elite analytical football IQ shined through. Rather than just relying on his speed, he drifted inside, purposely pulling 3 English defenders right towards him. He knew exactly what he was doing. That calculated movement left his best friend, Nico Williams, completely wide open on the opposite side of the pitch. Yamal slid the perfect threaded pass right through. Spain scored, and Yamal eventually lifted the trophy, not as a youngster just along for the ride, but as a primary driving force.
Chapter 3. Injuries and the Demands of Reality.
Now, of course, the road to greatness isn't always a straight line. If Euro 2024 was the ultimate dream, the reality of top-flight football comes with intense physical hurdles that eventually catch up to absolutely everyone, even prodigies. We saw a major reality check in the Nations League against Portugal. Up until that point, his attacking flair felt unstoppable. But then he met Nuno Mendes. Mendes is lightning fast, he's incredibly strong, and he physically bullied and completely shut down Yamal for the whole game. Yamal looked human for the first time. He looked passive, didn't really try his usual tricks, and learned a massive lesson. Raw talent isn't always enough against the absolute best, most physical defenders in the world. You desperately need a plan B. But how did he respond to that reality check?
by putting together an era of absolute magic for Barcelona. The data from his 2024 to 2025 season under Hansi Flick is staggering. He played 53 matches and delivered nearly 40 goal contributions. For a teenager playing in one of the toughest leagues in the world, that's literally unheard of. And he wasn't just stat padding against bottom-tier teams either. He was doing this under the brightest lights imaginable, scoring in the Super Cup final against Real Madrid, completely dominating El Clasico, and dancing past elite teams in the high-stakes semifinals of the Champions League.
However, playing 53 intense matches at his age has taken a severe toll on his developing body, leading to chronic groin pain, and this has sparked a massive dispute. On the left, you have Barcelona and Hansi Flick, who rightfully argue that significant rest is desperately needed to prevent permanent long-term damage to a growing teenager. On the right, you have Luis de la Fuente and the Spanish national team, who naturally want their absolute best player on the pitch to win critical games. Now, we aren't here to take a side, but we have to neutrally point out that this ongoing physical toll is undeniably the biggest threat to his career. If this isn't managed perfectly, a devastating injury could completely derail his 2026 World Cup dreams before they even begin.
Which brings us to Chapter 4, Better Than Football's Legends?
Assuming he manages to stay healthy, we have to ask the massive question. If he goes to North America in 2026 and actually wins the World Cup, where does he sit among the Mount Rushmore of football's greatest legends? When we look at the undisputed greats, Pelé, Mbappé, Ronaldo R9, and Messi, we can directly compare their ages and their exact roles during their first World Cup victories to what Yamal is attempting to do right now. Let's break these historical head-to-head matchups down.
First, Yamal versus Pelé and Mbappé. If Yamal wins in 2026, at age 18, he directly follows Pelé's legendary 1958 blueprint of a teenager completely dominating the tournament and taking the world by storm. And when you compare him to Mbappé's 2018 win at age 19, well, while Mbappé mostly abused his raw, terrifying speed, Yamal is arguably a vastly superior passer and playmaker, dictating the entire tempo of the game. Plus, Yamal would accomplish this a full year younger, and he would do it as the outright best player on his team, whereas Mbappé was one of a few established stars for France.
Next, we look at R9 and Messi. Ronaldo won the World Cup at 17, yes, but he was basically riding the bench the whole time, watching from the sidelines. Yamal, on the other hand, is actively carrying his team on his shoulders. And then there's Messi. The comparisons are totally unavoidable. They're both left-footed attackers, and both are graduates of La Masia, Barcelona's legendary youth academy. But remember, it took Messi 5 tries and 16 years of agonizing heartbreak to finally win a World Cup. If Yamal wins it on his very first try, it doesn't automatically make him better than Messi for sure, but it gives him a truly terrifying head start in the GOAT debate.
Chapter 5, Spain's new tactical weapon.
Because Yamal hasn't just changed his own personal trajectory. This single teenager has completely rewired the entire tactical identity of the Spanish national team. For years, Spain was defined by Step 1, tiki-taka. The endless, sometimes slow, possession-based passing game. It was beautiful, but it had definitely grown stale and predictable. Yamal forced Step 2, a shift to direct, fearless one-on-one attacks. He wasn't afraid to take defenders on directly. And this evolved into Step 3, transforming Spain into a lethal, lightning-fast counterattacking machine. This new, aggressive, direct style is going to be absolutely perfect for the hot weather and open pitches of the 2026 World Cup. A massive part of this tactical shift is his partnership with Nico Williams. For any defender, this is a pure nightmare scenario. Imagine the sheer panic of a fullback. You have Yamal on the right wing and Nico on the left. Because they're both so incredibly lethal, it is literally impossible to double-team Yamal. If you commit 2 men to him to shut him down, you leave Nico completely wide open on the other side to punish you, and vice versa. Add in their unbreakable friendship and chemistry off the pitch, and you have one of the deadliest winger duos in the history of international football.
And let's not forget, Yamal doesn't have to do it all by himself. He's backed by an incredibly deep, world-class Spanish roster. Behind him, you have the surgical precision of maestros like Pedri and Rodri orchestrating the midfield. You have defensive rock stars like Pau Cubarsí locking down the backline, and the relentless engine of Fabian Ruiz covering every blade of grass. This isn't just a team with one good player. This is an absolute machine of a squad that already has a deep-rooted habit of winning everything they touch. They step onto the pitch fully expecting to win.
Chapter 6, What if he wins? The ultimate climax.
Set the scene in your mind for a second. It's July 2026, the sweltering heat of MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Lamine Yamal is standing on the podium,
confetti falling everywhere, lifting the World Cup trophy. What does that actually mean for his legacy? Well, to truly understand the stakes, look at the number 2. At the recent Ballon d'Or ceremony in Paris, Yamal finished second in the voting, just behind Ousmane Dembélé. For a teenager to finish second in the race for the best player in the world is historic. If he adds a World Cup to what he's already doing at Barcelona, that race is entirely over. He instantly crowns himself the undisputed best player on the planet.
The stakes of a 2026 victory are just monumental. First, he becomes the youngest Ballon d'Or winner ever. Second, he instantly enters the debate for the greatest Spanish player of all time, arguably peaking even higher than absolute legends like Xavi or Iniesta. Third, winning in America makes him a global icon. He stops being just a footballer and becomes a massive household name to casual fans across the globe. And finally, he completely shuts down the debate against players like Mbappe and Haaland.
But here's the hidden danger of winning everything so young. If he beats the ultimate final boss of the sport before he even enters his 20s, he's going to be the true definition of suffering from success. How do you maintain the fire? How do you stay hungry, motivated, and disciplined for another 15 long years of a professional career when you've already conquered the absolute pinnacle of the globe?
I'll leave you with this provocative thought. What happens when you literally complete football at 19? Where do you even go from there? It's a terrifying, beautiful problem to have, and we get the absolute privilege to watch it all unfold live. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep your eyes on the pitch.